So just wanted to talk a little bit about the C string. We have this situation in Sarasate on the first movement where we have a pizzicato section and then we have a forte. And Ben pointed out that the sound in the C string or the arco isn't very good. Terry had a good suggestion. If you need more time to switch from pizzicato to bow, there's 2 eighth note beats, and that's how much rest you have over there to move to bow and then play your first note. Now, the C string is notoriously difficult. It's the biggest and heaviest one, and it's harder to do a good attack on that. And what makes things worse is now we're going through all these kind of weather changes, the humidity and temperature changes right now. My cello is extremely susceptible to that, so that how my cello on the C string responds varies. It's a moving target, so that's kind of part of the difficult. But the basic underlying principles are you kind of have to find the sweet spot. Depending on how much pressure or weight you put on the bow, what speed you want the bow to move, and balance that with what's the proper distance from the bridge. So if I play a note, it attacks relatively well. Now if I put more pressure but I don't move my bow, I move my bow closer to the bridge, it breaks. So if for me to put more pressure on it, I would need to move it a little bit, the operation a little bit closer to the bridge. So there is this magic spot. The underlying principles stay the same, but every cello is a little bit different, and then every cello is different from day to day depending on what the humidity and the temperature situation is. And then the C string is really difficult to begin with. Sometimes I see when people play notes, and especially when they try to start prime a open string, I see instrumentalists to help by doing a little left hand pizzicato to get the cello, the C string going. We don't have really time to do that now in that section, but basically the other thing about the bow, your knuckles and your fingers need to be an active participant, and those are your suspension system. So when you're looking for that spot over there, prime it so that when you want to start the string, put some pressure and then actually pull it. I just pull it a little bit. If I do a downhill, I pull it just a little bit this way. The string, and then as soon as after the attack I let go just a little bit. One thing you cannot do is you cannot yank with your arm. That is a little bit like you have a seatbelt in a car, and you know what happens if you yank it like this, it just locks. It doesn't respond well. So the arm movement is fairly minor, but then you do that attaching and engaging the string with your fingers. And then the other very, very important thing is that the left hand, that the string is pressed properly into the fingerboard. If that's not the case, then you don't get a good attack with your bow. One very good way to test it is to play a pizzicato. If you holding sloppy, the pizzicato isn't good. But when the fingers pressing solidly to the fingerboard, then you get a good pizzicato. Then you have a chance, with the proper bow technique, you have a chance to get a good attack. It doesn't need a lot of bow, it just needs to, and it doesn't actually have to be overly loud, even if it says forte. It just needs to be accurate and clear and a good attack and a pleasant sound. So that's what I will. One exercise that a lot of people do when they warm up, they play scales like this. To activate the fingers. So that's all on this. There is the second movement. There is another situation there too. Talking about the length of the notes. One thing. Oh no, that was a different movement. So anyway, so that's it for Sarasate. Oh, one more thing about the pizzicato. Where we have the last movement where we have this gruelingly tiring pizzicato section. I'm still seeing this. So one thing I noticed. So feel free to take a little break. So like when your hand gets tired, just bluff it for a little while. But the other thing that I'm noticing is that your hand gets easier tired if you just try to do that. If you just try to use the small muscles, basically just do everything with your finger. But if you take a little bit of liberties and just kind of use a little bit, let the whole hand just kind of flop over it. That's actually your muscles don't cramp up quite so easily. Instead of strictly doing everything with your fingers with the small muscles, the small muscles have less endurance than the large muscles. So that's all about the Sarasate. Okay, I'll make another video about the Beethoven. So I will talk to you later.